Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast. As always, I'm your host, Woody Overton. Today, we have Miss Barbara Johnson on the phone, or I have Miss Barbara Johnson, Hailey's mom, as y'all know. And we will get, first of all, good afternoon, Miss Barbara.
Hi, how are you?
All right, good. Look, y'all, what we're going to be doing today is talking about what's happened since we did the call to action last Friday. And it's a lot of good positive things, but we also, this is really crunch time on continuing to reach out to the powers that be to have more things happen. And we're going to go through them step by step. And it's very important that we don't stop now. We got to put the pedal to the metal and keep it going. But it's been a real blessing so far. So,
Yes.
Miss Barbara, the episode came out on Friday, and on Fridays a lot of lifers or they're listening in the car, driving the kids to school, or picking them up, or in the gym, and don't really have access to sit down right then and type things out. But a bunch of them did, right? But I knew a bunch more would get to it on Monday, and a lot of people do it when they get in their office and what have you, and they're catching up on the episode, etc. Well, they did it, and they've been doing it, and a lot of people shared their posts and everything, and I thought it was really a beautiful thing.
Oh, it was incredible, and some of them, the letters that they wrote and the posts, it was awesome. It was really
right
good.
So, which is what we wanted, to put a human face on Hailey, and for the lifers to take Hailey as their own, and I think they've done that. Now,
Yes.
we're not going to make this a super long episode, y'all, because I just want to give you the update I want you to understand how important it is. So, Miss Barbara, about what time on Monday did you get the first phone call?
God, I don't even remember. It was probably about around midday or early afternoon. When I talked to the DA's assistant.
Right, and so now let's talk about that real quick. For the ones that don't know, if you're listening to this to the first time, we are very fortunate that it's Marietta, right? Or is it?
No, it's Cobb County.
County. Cobb County has a new district attorney who just took office. She's a female lady, and one of the first things you said to Miss Barbara, she's establishing like a new cold case unit and stuff like that. So that was huge. That the other DA is not there anymore, but her new assistant. Now this isn't an assistant of an assistant of an assistant. Her new head assistant reaches out to you and says what?
She said that I guess I had called several times and left messages, but she said that that she would take down all my information and pass it on to the DA. And I mean, she took down everything I said and read it back to me after we were done. So she took down pretty much word for word everything I said, which I thought was
right.
good.
And I'm going to tell you right now, and I think you know this, but the reason they called you on Monday is because of everything that came in since Friday and over the weekend and Monday morning, including your own phone calls. But you get all these people saying hashtag justice for Hailey. And typically in any large DA's office like that, every morning on the top cases, they'll brief the DA. The DA doesn't try the cases themselves, the head DA. And they'll sit down, have their 9 o'clock meeting. What's the hottest case? What do we have here? And I can guarantee you, hashtag justice for Hailey came across, and like, we're getting hammered on this. And that lady's like, well, call her, right? And find out.
Right. And I think it's weird because they act like they don't know about her case, but I think that they do. I think they're just not,
That I can tell you, I can assure you that they know about the case, and
right.
that they're not going to play their cards or show their cards or whatever. They want to make sure. I mean, certainly with all the allegations and everything that have been made, not only made but just played on the podcast and what have you.
Right.
They want to gather it all together especially the bad things. They're not going to admit that, oh God, the pathologist changed from suicide to undetermined, but there's this 1% chance, or, it's 15 minutes, or the sheriff's office screwed up and gave the evidence back, or whatever. They're not going to say all that, but guess what? They didn't do that, right? And the that all happened before they got the case. So it's important, super, super important, but more importantly is the next phone call you have with her.
Yeah, yes. And I called her back just to kind of see where things were because I hadn't heard from them.
Right. So that was today, which is
Yes.
Thursday. And that's why y'all are going to be getting this late, because we were waiting for a couple of things, and I'll explain that in a minute. So that on Monday, you speak with them. You have Tuesday, Wednesday. On Thursday, you speak with her again. And what does she say?
Yeah, she said that he had passed the information along to and the way she worded it made me think that the DA told her to pass it to the chief investigator. I think is what she called him.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so that was.
Let me say this. I will let y'all know that I'm not going to tell you how, but I actually got to listen to the phone call, whether I was with Miss Barber or another way. It doesn't matter. It's not illegal. But you go ahead, Miss Barber, and I'll give my take on it after you give yours.
Well, no, I mean, I just, I guess I was a little worried because, to me, it's sometimes I think that they're, putting me off, but the fact that it's gone to the chief investigator, and apparently, I guess the DA is the one that approved that. So
what she said, y'all, was, Miss Barber, you were in the middle of a phone call. What she said was, and we've looked at it, and it's been assigned to whomever it is that is over all investigators. Okay. And that they are going to be digging in, looking into the different things. And then they were going to be calling you to get your version or more. Basically, it's like starting a homicide investigation all over again. And the very fact that they've given it to their boss man, and it's there's no way you could tell me it's not because of all the political pressure that they've been given. Not meaning that they don't want to do their job, because I think that they do. But there's a lot of mistakes and things that have been made, and it's easy to play armchair quarterback and come in behind and be like, oh, this was a mess up. This was a mess up. But how can we fix this? How can we get around it? Because obviously, like even the old crew were saying, it's a homicide, it's a homicide, it's a homicide, right? Well, if it's a homicide, you need to work it as a homicide. The huge victory is her today saying that it's been assigned to the chief guy that's over all investigators. And for the people that don't know, every district attorney's office I've ever dealt with, from the smallest, where the DA actually prosecutes cases himself, to the biggest, they all have full-time investigators. And that's because when they get ready to go to trial, they don't have to wait on a detective. They don't have to call a detective and say, oh, can you go run this lead down? Can you do this? As they're preparing for trial, they're sending, and these investigators are going to be more seasoned than anyone. They're not hiring some Joe Blow off the street who doesn't have investigative experience. Most of the guys that I know that are doing it are my age or older, and they were detectives for a long, long time before they took it's kind of a cush job, because you don't get called out in the middle of the night and on holidays and weekends and all that stuff anymore. And you're getting to come in after the fact, and you already have all the work that's been done, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, by the detectives ahead of you, right? So now they're getting all this, and they'd be like, holy shit. But I believe that he's a chief investigator because he believes in justice and he wants justice. I believe that Madam District Attorney took office because she wants justice. And if they can get it, they're going to get it. But I also believe that it's happening because of you lifers out there have sent continuous emails and phone calls, etc. And we've got to keep it up. This is the time now, even if you just want to send them a thank you. Saying Miss Barber said that, yeah, y'all signed an investigator looked in the case. Thank you. We can't wait to hear the results or whatever y'all want to say. I don't care, but we got to call and keep calling it over and over again. The Cobb County District Attorney's office and laying it out. However, whatever you want to say, you say it. But the more phone calls and the more emails, even if it's a thank you, if you've already responded before, if you haven't responded yet, respond however you want to. But we've got to do this. We're right there. We've already got what was happening a couple months ago before we started Hailey's podcast? Nothing.
No, nothing.
Nothing. And he was going to walk. They were talking about letting him out of jail early and all this shit or overturning his conviction. Now, at least they're looking at it. They're investigating it. And that's a huge, huge first step. And yes, I get also on the call, she said it could be 10 days or 5 to 10 days. That is not a put off thing. If I'm the chief investigator for Cobb County, I've already got shit. I've got 10 subpoenas. I got to be in 10 different courtrooms in the next week on murder trials and motions to suppress and different things. I'm actively working other cases. And so that it's not like they, just because we're all calling and doing whatever, that they're going to drop everything and run right in and solve it in 2 minutes. That's investigate for you. First of all, you don't want this solved in 2 minutes. You want it done correctly. And they're going to, that's what I heard her say on the phone call, is they are going to do their due diligence and then they will respond to you. Hopefully they're going to respond to you and say, shit, we got enough. Right. But I mean, yeah, we have enough without even having to talk to you. Right. We're taking it to the grand jury. Now that would be love. Now, the other thing is you voiced your concerns with the past assistant DA and the victims advocate not taking your phone calls, et cetera, like that. And she was like, I'm sorry. And we don't agree with the way that was handled. Right. And basically saying that, and then look, it's 2 days later. She reaches out to you. It's 2.5 days later, and you're getting to talk again. And you're talking to the head woman, who's the head investigator has it. However, he might have 20 people underneath him. I don't know, but he has it, and he knows he got his marching orders. Then they can only come from the DA, even if it's over a phone call in the morning with what's the hottest cases, et cetera. They got their marching orders. They're going to look into it. Now they're going to go. If I got the marching orders, I go into it unbiased, and I'm going to look at it and as an unbiased person, just like I did when I took Hailey's case, and I looked at it unbiased, and then I became biased, right? But confidential bias, if you will, because of the things that weren't done and some things that were done, but were done incorrectly. But the main thing, Brooks Cleary. I mean, how in the hell? The only reason wasn't indicted for murder is because of that pathologist report, and that's big. Do you have anything else to add about that?
No. I just it's hard because I've had them tell me things before and it didn't happen, but this feels different, and I hope that I really think that the new DA is on it.
And do you know what the difference is, sweetie? And it really, really is. The difference, and I'm not tooting our horn or anything, but the difference is every single lifer that took their time to send #justice for Hailey, and then with your persistence, and then they got all this pressure from all around. The DA's like, why in the now, I'm not saying she curses, but she's probably like, why in the F are we getting hammered with this? This wasn't even our case. Let's get it. If there's something there, let's get it. Assign Joe Blow or Chief to it, right? And tell him to go do what he does. Go earn his living. And I understand that, the way they treated you in the past is these aren't the same people. All right.
Right. And 1,000,000% believe it's because of you and the lifers. And I definitely don't think this would be happening without that.
Right. but it hadn't happened until this point, right? And that's just a fact. But so y'all, thank you so much for doing it. But please, please, please keep doing it. You can't stop. We're not trying to hurt these people. Just want them to do their job. That's all. And a reasonable person, there's not a reasonable person in this world when they look at all this evidence that won't say this is a homicide, at least go indict. And if we lose the trial, we lose the trial, but you're not going to. There's not a reasonable person in this world that's going to sit on that jury and listen to all the facts of the case. Now, that's the other thing. When they do this, they're investigating it. You don't want a fast investigation. You want this to be done correctly because every little lead, they might find a lot of shit that we didn't find. And
right.
and they got to investigate each one of those little leads. So we want them to take their time, but lifers, we need y'all to keep pressing. Just keep pressing. It could be a thank you or sending in to the DA. Thank you again for signing your investigator to the case. It means a lot. Or whatever, or this wasn't done, and whatever you want to say. I'm not telling you what to say, but I think it's a good thing. Now, real quick, because I said we weren't going to make this long, and we're already 25 minutes in. What else happened today, Miss Barbara?
We had an interview with a reporter from Rob D'Arienzo from Fox 5 News in Atlanta. So
there you go.
Yes,
there you go. And so
I know I messed his name up, but I can't say his last name.
That's okay. And you've also had somebody else reach out to you that was like a newspaper or something.
This April, we're celebrating Earth Month, and it's the perfect time to think about the choices we make every day, especially the ones we don't always think about, like where we sleep. If there's one thing I've learned, it's the quality is sustainability. When you invest in something well made, it lasts longer. And that means less waste, fewer replacements, and a bigger impact on protecting our planet. That's why I love Avocado Green Mattress. Avocado makes certified organic mattresses, crafted with non-toxic materials in their very own zero-waste factory. They've already diverted 85% of their waste from landfills, and they're aiming for 90%. It's not just about comfort. It's about caring for the planet with every choice we make. And here's something I really love. Avocado is a proud member of the 1% for the planet. That means at least 1% of every dollar they earn goes straight to environmental nonprofits tackling climate change and protecting ecosystems. So when you choose Avocado, you're not just sleeping better, you're giving back. If you're thinking about upgrading your mattress, do it with purpose. Choose one that's better for you and better for the planet. Head to avocadomattress.com today and save up to 10% on certified organic mattresses. Dream of better for you and the planet. Women, have you ever had one of those days where everything just feels off? Like you're stuck in the middle of a mystery and you can't solve it? Your energy's crashing, your mood's swinging like a suspect in an interrogation room, and no matter what you do, nothing adds up. Well, Cindy has been there, and sometimes the real culprit is hiding in the shadows, is hormonal imbalance. Here's a twist. More than 1,000 hormone disruptors are living rent-free in our world, lurking in our food, our air, even our skincare. And when hormones go haywire, it can feel like you're trapped in your own personal true crime story, especially during premenopause or menopause. But here's the good news. This is the one case you can crack with Hormone Harmony by Happy Mammoth. All you need to do is take their free 2-minute quiz. You'll answer a few simple questions. Just like that, you'll get a personalized recommendation to help bring your hormones back into balance. No long investigation required. What I love is that Hormone Harmony is made with adaptogens, natural science-backed herbal extracts that help your body adapt to stress and hormonal changes, whether it's PMS, hot flashes, brain fog, or sleepless nights. This product is designed to help you feel like you again. Over 40,000 glowing reviews don't lie, and neither do the results. 86% of women say they started losing weight. 77% say their mood improved. And the biggest win, 100% say they feel like themselves again. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com, code RLRC for 15% off today.
Yes, the Marietta Daily Journal.
Wow.
They responded and said that they were looking into it, and so I haven't heard back. But it sounded
okay. So this is what I want the lifers to do. And Miss Barbara, I'm gonna put you on the spot for a second, but this guy Fox 5 is like the largest news channel in Atlanta, and they have other ones. But we want to give this guy, if you are so inclined, Miss Barbara has his contact information, and just give him a shout out, say thank you for looking into it. But she did the interview, and it's going to be released tonight, right? Or maybe tomorrow. We're not sure.
I sent him a lot of stuff, so I'm not sure that he will get to go through it before tonight's airing. So it probably will be tomorrow if I had to get.
You know what? It's better that it is tomorrow. Y'all, we waited so late to record this in case we were going to get to add that interview in there. And like Miss Barbara, you never know what they're going to cut out or put in on a news interview that you say, because they have a certain amount of time. But hey, I don't want this dude to rush it any more than I want the DA's investigators to rush it. I wanted to be like, holy shit, this is for lack of a better word, amazing. I mean, this is a hell of a story. Let's do this. And so, y'all, Miss Barbara, can you give his name, and let's start with his email if you have it. And y'all, we'll put it in the show notes. But I know a lot of you never looked at the show note in your life, so we're going to put it there, and Cindy will share it across all social media.
I'm going to spell it out because, but it's Robert.DIRIENZO@fox.com.
Okay, and he's the reporter that you did the interview with today.
Correct. Yes. And he's very nice, and he, as far as I know, went over the podcast quite a bit, because he offered to do it a couple of days before, but he said, I'd rather find out more if I can, which I appreciated. And I said, no, we'd rather wait, and you do it.
That's right. Let me digress for a second. This didn't just come about today. It was several days ago that he reached out to you, correct?
Right. Yes.
And again, y'all, why do you think he reached out to her? It's because of you lifers sending in the emails, doing the phone calls. They're like, oh, this has got traction. This is a story. Let's cover it. And then so he set it up for today. He told you the other day that he wanted to review more stuff and all that.
Yes. And, he obviously had, because he said that I needed to send him, several of the things, because he couldn't take it directly from your website. So.
Right. Like the body camera.
The body cam and the 911 call. And yeah, that's
amazing. And hopefully he does it justice. Y'all, here's the deal. Hit him up. Tell him thank you. Fire him up. And we're going to include it on social media, etc. The other one, what is the name of that Marietta what? The
Marietta Daily Journal.
The Marietta Daily Journal. Do we have the contact information for that?
Let me look real quick. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. No, that's fine. I'm just thinking out loud. And also, y'all, Cindy, do we have the contact information for the other news medias? Mm-hmm. Listen, I want to read it out right now, if we can.
All right. It was from J.K. Murphy at mdjonline.com.
M as in Mike, B as in
dog.
Oh, D as in dog. So
yes.
So MD Mike Delta.
It's J. J.K. Murphy, and that's at MDJ, which is for Marietta Daily Journal.
Okay.
So it's mdjonline.com.
Good, excellent. Y'all blow them up, and the obviously some of you have already reached out to them and they got their attention because they reached out to Miss Barbara, right? And then Fox has reached out. The DA has reached out. We are going to give you the other news channels again and reach out to them. Call them, please. Just take 3 minutes of your time. Call them, send them an email. We don't care. Just do it, because all of these things are happening because of what y'all did, and because
Yes.
you did it. And hold on, I'm putting my glasses on, Miss Barbara. You did it, and the weeks before this, what happened? Nothing, right? And
Nothing.
right, so
I couldn't even get the DA's office to call me back. But I was trying to get in touch with Stephanie Green and not the new DA. So
right, is Sonia Allen the current?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So y'all, I'm gonna give you the district attorney's office number for Sonia Allen. It's SONYA Allen. It's 770-528-3080. The email is Cobb, COBB, district attorney at cobbcounty.org. Email them. Please use your mama's email. I don't care. Email them. Tell them thank you, or you want to keep pushing it or whatever. All right. Now, as far as the newsrooms go, Fox's Fox 5, who's the one that you did the interview with today, their main phone, if you may just want to say thank you or give the guys some encouragement. Their main phone number is 404-875-555. And then the, let's see, 11 Alive News. We hadn't heard from them yet, right, Miss Barbara?
No, I have not heard from them yet.
Did they do a story on her before?
They did. In the very beginning, Michelle Newell had talked to her several times, but she just kind of dropped out, during the last part of it, like when we were doing the 13 juror, and so I don't know what happened.
All right, so you know what, y'all? Blow them up. 11 Alive News is 404, area code 404-873-9101. Or you could text them at 404-885-7600. And if you want a reporter, 470-510-0459. Moving on, Atlanta News First. That's another channel, right? The main number. Right. I'm just gonna give you the newsroom number. That's the one you want, so you'll get a reporter. Right. Newsroom number is area code 404. That's 327-3200. Or you can text 470-777-9263. Okay, or email Sierra, that's Ciara Cummings, Cummings. It's and the email is as follows. It's Ciara.Cummings at WANF.com. All right. And then the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, you can reach them at communitynews@ajc.com or Rose, ROSE Ciota, CIOTTA @ajc.com. All right, blow them up. This is it. Yeah. This is the time to shine. This is the time. I'm very, 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 very thankful that for the new district attorney. I am thankful that you have eyeballs looking at it, and I'm thankful for Fox 5 for covering it. But let's don't let up.
Yes, I agree. And I think, the more, if there's any hesitation or any doubt in them whatsoever, I think if we keep the phone calls up and we keep the emails up, that it'll push it over the finish line.
I'm just thinking back in my career, I'm going to work in big cases and stuff like that. And of course you get a lot of quack jobs that will call in different things. But then when you actually get somebody who will catch you off guard, that's actually sincere and say, hey, I just want to tell you, thank you for digging in to, it might be their best friend's case, or not necessarily a family member, just somebody that cared about them. My friend's case, I worked with this person and they were the best. And it just means the world to us that you're looking at this. That's all we're asking. So send those guys that give the Cobb County DA a shout out, give Fox 5 a shout out, an attaboy, right? And let them know that we're not going away. The rest of them, blow them up. And look, the police numbers and all that are in there. It's not going to really make it hill of beans one way or another. You could certainly call them and say, why did you turn over all the evidence and blah, 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 or whatever. Well, I'm not telling y'all what to do. Do whatever you're led to do in your heart. But Hailey was real. Hailey's, Miss Barbara's pain is real. Stella and Tyler's pain is real. And there's a reason we took this. We have the platform. Y'all have the passion, being lifers. We've done this before. Let's do it again. As far as I'm concerned, we're in the home stretch. And because they've opened it, they're looking at it. That's what we wanted. And there's no reasonable person can look at all this shit and say, oh my God, right? Why?
Yeah, the reporter asked today, he said, well, if they gave you back all the evidence, can they even do the case? I said, even without the evidence, there's plenty.
Absolutely. And that's going to be something they're going to have to figure out. Right. And the one thing they don't want to do is come back to Mama Bear, Barbara Johnson, and say, we can't prosecute this because the sheriff's office gave you evidence. All right. That's not your, I mean, it wouldn't matter anyway. They need, no investigator. It's not like you choose to be an investigator so you could just be an idiot at your job. All right. Me as the investigator, I always had fire in my, still do. I have fire in my heart for getting justice.
You can tell.
And those people, I would assume, if you're number one, you got fire in your heart. Right. And when they come back it's to him, say, boss, look at this, this, and this. He's going to be like, what the fuck? And it happens. And that's okay. But as long as we could correct it, the only way we'll correct it, y'all, is through you. Through you lifers, keep it up. Hey, I'm not telling you to use, 400 emails, but I might have. But the more the squeaky wheel gets the grease, let's keep it. Let's make the wheel scream for Wheels for Justice, scream for Hailey.
And you just never know when when you'll get to the right person, when you'll send the right email, because I can't tell you, I called the FBI, I've called everybody.
Right.
But when I was listening to Dateline and I heard your information and I tried you and you answered. So and that was the right call.
That's how it works. And lifers, you never know. You never know which one of your emails or attaboys or whatever or phone calls is going to be the one that's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back, and really, really just not that it's not already happening, but just it doesn't hurt, right? It doesn't hurt. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, making an ape. It's an acute political emergency, but at least it's being looked at. At least the news media is covering. I'm gonna tell you what's going to happen when they cover it. The DA's office is going to get a bunch more calls and there's going to be somebody's going to come out as a witness. Somebody's going to come out and say something they hadn't said before, and that all goes into them. Thank God they're investigating the case again. I mean, I can't ask for more than that. Yeah, and we can't ask for more than that because they damn sure weren't doing anything with it before. To the point where they give you all the evidence back. Yeah, so
exactly. And they didn't ever talk to. Well, they they just didn't investigate. They didn't talk to a lot of the people at the apartment complex. They didn't talk to the people at the Anchor Bar. They just didn't.
Yep, and didn't find out what he was wearing, and then you got your pathologist, and it's just so much. But you know what? If I was the chief investigator and I signed to one of my younger guys, if you will, but remember, anybody in the DA's office, investigators got years and years of experience before they get there. But so I signed to one of my other guys. You better believe if I'm the guy that gets the assignment, I'm bringing it back to my big boss. I'm going to say, here's the good, bad, and indifferent. And this is what it is. Right. So that's what we want. But the news media, yes, you can never have too much news media coverage, because not only for witnesses and stuff, but because it keeps the wheel squeaking. Yeah. And that's what we want. Hashtag justice for Hailey. Okay.
Yes. So much. Thank you. And thank you to everybody. I can't like I just can't keep thanking you enough. Like thank you for taking the time out to make Hailey, a priority and make her known and to know who she is. I just appreciate all of it. Thank you.
It is such an amazing blessing that we have the people that we have
Yes.
who have enough empathy and care in their heart that Hailey is no longer just another statistic to them, right? And they're taking the time to fight for her, and that's love. So
yes, matters so much.
yeah. All right. Well, I love you very much, and
Much.
we will
So
share
much.
the interview. Maybe let's see what happens this week. I have a feeling some more things are going to happen, and then if we do, we will. Even if we go a week without being on Hailey because they're investigating or whatever, but as soon as we get something, we'll do an episode to keep it pushing and keep it fresh, and let everybody know what's going on, right? And how their stuff is working out. Please, and look, when you call them or whatever, do it like a whole bunch of the lifers already have. And I know it's asking, it takes a little more time. Post it on social media because other people love to see it. And hashtag justice for Hailey, but post who you call, post who you email, post what you sent. I said I love to read it, and I did the bartending at Walk-Ons the other night. I had hashtag justice for Hailey on the back of my shirt. I must have had 20 different people ask me,
Really?
yep, and who's Hailey? And I got to
I
tell
love the purple shirts, by the way.
them. Yeah, right. That was for LSU because the LSU game was on. But
I love it.
anyway, we love you. Hang in there. Rome wasn't built in a day. I know we're moving in the right direction. We just got to keep it going. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, lifers. And I love y'all. And I'm Woody Overton, your host of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast. Until next time or ever, don't let me catch you down murder. Bye. Peace.